Hey there, and welcome to GamePoints, our weekly get-together. We talk about the past week in gaming news. I am, as always, your host, Stephen Brown. Joining me today is David Smith.
Hey.
Tonight, we are going to talk about the Palmer Luckey controversy. We're going to get into Riot's new board game based on League of Legends. Talk about a shitty basketball team buying a couple of esports teams, which means they might actually win something finally.
Wow.
But before we get into any of that, one, I want to say pray for America, because I just watched the debates, and holy shit, was that a shitstorm. And two, David, you've
Yo.
been playing a lot of Divinity Original Sin, or Divinity 2 Original Sin, rather.
Yes.
How is it?
Fantastic. It's only in early access, but I'm very, very excited. I mean, I've been playing mostly co-op, honestly, with some people, and it's great. There's a little bit of polish needed, I think. I mean, some of the quests aren't fully fleshed out. There's not all of the dialogue trees, but there's still a ton to do. A lot of customer characters, or a lot of character customization you can get into. It looks very pretty. I also already figured out a way that I could teleport a bunch of shit you're not supposed to teleport on top of each other, and glitched my game to all hell, because it had to render so many things at once that it dropped me down to like 4 FPS. But it was hilarious.
That's one of those things you need to actually reduplicate and record, and we'll slap up on the channel with Flurry and Studios tagged.
It's great. No, I told them about it, and they had never even thought about it. Apparently, I'm just the asshole that tried it, so it's fun.
Good. I'm looking forward to Divinity 2, rather, Original Sin, or is it Divinity Original Sin 2?
Yes, because Divinity 2 is actually a previous game from Larian Studios.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking. That was the action-ish adventure game, more like.
So you want Original Sin 2, kids? That's what you're looking forward to.
All right, that's what it is.
Four-player co-op out the gate. Pretty damn cool.
Is it related to the first one at all? Like same world?
I mean, it's taking place kind of in the same place, yeah.
Okay.
But there's nothing really so far that I've seen. I haven't played too long that's tied me directly to the other game, but whatever. It's fun.
Fair enough.
Don't dig up trees.
Sounds good. Well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the first story out the gate here, and that is the Luckey Palmer Oculus Rift fame shit show that happened. I want to say it started breaking last Friday. Now, David, what do you know about this story?
That it's not really news, but we're going to talk about it anyway because everyone else is.
All right, so we're going to ease people into this. Do you know who Luckey Palmer is to begin with?
No, but I do know who Palmer Luckey is. Oh, stop messing up his name, jerk.
Shit, Palmer Luckey. Not Luckey Palmer. Hold on, is it Luckey Palmer or is it Palmer Luckey?
It's Palmer Luckey. Yes, I'm correct. Don't even Google it. I'm right.
Okay.
So anyway, he's up somewhere in Oculus. I don't remember what the hell he is, but he's a guy that works with Oculus, somewhere higher up there. And he's been doing some shenanigans because he was backing a group of people that were making a bunch of like memes and just shitposting stuff in favor of Donald Trump and talking all kinds of bad shit about Hillary. And it's weird because he gave them some money, I guess. It's a little weird for me what's going on there. But for some reason, the actions of this one guy has made a bunch of people mad at Oculus, which doesn't... I understand that a person sort of represents the interests of a company, but he did it completely outside of the company. I don't know. It's whatever.
Well,
it's news.
Let's go through the whole story, and then we'll get to that stuff. These articles are going to be from the deadbeatspanel.com. That's a bad web name, by the way. And GameIndustry.biz. Let me go ahead and bring up the GameIndustry.biz one when we get to that time. But long story short, Luckey was revealed to be bankrolling an organization known as Nimble America. And Nimble America is this alt-right group that is known for its pro-Trump memes that states, quote, "We've proven that shit posting is powerful and meme magic is real," end quote. So that should kind of give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. It's essentially along the line of like 4chan and 8chan and all those weird image board kind of mentality humor.
Who is this 4chan?
Yeah, the hacker known as 4chan has been posting powerful memes against Hillary Clinton, apparently. But it's... I can't even take this story seriously. I'm trying to put my best spin on it.
Okay, it's a little ridiculous. So basically, he gave some money to some guys to make a bunch of shitty posts, and they're not even that shitty because they got beat out by R Sweden last I checked.
Here's the thing.
And
a lot of the shit that you find on Nimble America is just horribly racist. Like, you'll see the characters of Jewish people, and you'll see Pepe the Frog in Hitler costumes and all that. At the end of the day, it's fucking memes. Do we really care all that much? But apparently the answer is yes, because we just lost all of our collective goddamn minds on it. You had multiple outlets, which admittedly lean hardcore left to begin with, so even the slightest provocation against Clinton is going to kind of set them off. But they were going on about how he is a terrible person, and they finally used this as the example to hammer home the fact that they've kind of hated him for years. And then suddenly it was very fashionable to say, I'm not buying an Oculus Rift, and goddamn Rift, boo. And we don't want to do with anything with a company that supports this piece of shit, and so on and so forth. Palmer himself took to Facebook to apologize. He more or less said that, quote, I am deeply sorry that my actions are negatively impacting the perception of Oculus and its partners. The recent news stories about me do not accurately represent my views. Here's more background. I contributed $10,000 to Nimble America because I thought the organization had fresh ideas on how to communicate with young voters through the use of several billboards. I'm a libertarian. He goes on to talk about his political standing, about how he's a libertarian. And that he is not this poster called Nimble Rich Man, who was apparently one of the more outspoken people on that site and talked a lot of shit. Let's face it, it was shit. Oh, my headphones just fell off. It was shit posting. That's what he was doing. He was shit posting online behind anonymous usernames. And this guy just came out. Okay, cool. This guy's crime is he's a horrible internet troll. But
congratulations.
The outrage.
So's most of us.
Yeah. The outrage over this was hilarious from my point of view and completely overblown. You had multiple developers, and I'm going to put that in quotes, like Polytron, which was making a VR game called Super Hypercube, saying on Twitter that they will not be supporting Oculus now. Scruta Games, a company I've never even heard of, saying that Luckey has to leave the company he founded. The quote from them is, until Luckey Palmer steps down, or Palmer Luckey steps down from his position at Oculus, we will be canceling Oculus support for our games. Another developer called Tomorrow Today Labs said, hey, Oculus, his actions are unacceptable. Newton VR will not be supporting Oculus Touch as long as he's employed there. Polytron made Fez. That's probably the only thing you've really heard of them from. Scruta Games, Tomorrow Today Labs, and a bunch of other these little third Z-tier developers came out. You also said, we're not developing for Rift anymore. My response to that is, who fucking cares? No one's even heard of you to begin with. Congrats for you for virtual signaling and standing up for your morals. Awesome. That's great. And you know what? I'm not going to say you have to do business with someone that you can't despise. I still think it's overblown that you're going to throw an entire company over the bus because Palmer Luckey was a Trump supporter. He is one man in a company of hundreds of people. Sure, he might have politics that are completely and totally shitty and out of your whack, but you know what? If I didn't buy things from every single company that I disagreed with politically, I wouldn't have anything to do. Now, Insomniac Games is probably the biggest of these publishers that kind of came out to condemn Palmer. But the only thing they did was that they say they condemn all forms of hate speech. Once again, though,
don't be dicks.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
like our motto.
It's not like Insomniac Games is a big player to begin with. They're known. People know that name. These are the guys that do Ratchet and Clank.
But they also didn't pull support from Oculus. They just said, hey, now, we don't like this kind of thing. You probably shouldn't associate like that.
Because at the end of the day, no one really cares. The people who are going out saying, oh, I'm not going to buy a Rift, are the same people who, A, weren't going to buy one to begin with, or B, are the ones that end up picking up a few months later, like those jackasses who say boycott Call of Duty, and then you see all of them playing Call of Duty on launch day. It's the similar idea to where it sounds great to go, I care! But let's face it, you lack the courage of your convictions, and we all know it.
Take that, your convictions.
Now, as far as Oculus as a company is concerned, their CEO, Brendan Iribe, has emphasized the freedom that Oculus VR allows its employees to support their personal views. He came out on its own Facebook page and quoted, "Everyone at Oculus is free to support the issues or causes that matter to them, whether or not we agree with those views. It is important to remember that Palmer acted independently in a personal capacity, and this was no way representative of the company." And that was the most perfectly said statement that he could have possibly have given.
It's literally the blurb at the beginning of every single Assassin's Creed game. Like, hey, guess what? This is made with a team of people from all different races and religious backgrounds. We have different opinions and different beliefs, and we all manage to get along and make video games. What's up?
Exactly. Let me try bringing that up again. I just tried bringing up that specific page, and it wouldn't load for me. Yeah, it's not loading.
That's okay.
So. Oh, well.
You know,
sorry, Game
black screen.
I tried to show you.
Black screen's more fun.
Oh, there it is.
Honestly, it's too late. No one cares.
Yeah, a lot of this was just screaming "I care" for the sake of screaming "I care" when it comes down to it, because we live in such a fucking polarized time right now.
It was just like a trending thing, more or less.
And God forbid
something got popular and got some steam, and yeah, I don't know. People got kind of mad.
Yeah, it's
Palmer Luckey is a not even household name. He's a mildly more known name.
He is the face of Oculus, to be fair. Like, he is essentially their biggest spokesperson because he's the one that made it all to begin with. At the end of the day, let people have their fucking political beliefs. If you don't want to support him because he's voting Trump or whatever, fine. Knock yourself out. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't. But it is a fucking stupid reason not to buy a product because someone says, I'm voting for someone that I don't like. You can say, I hate the fact that he's posting shit online. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's a fucking meme. Do you know how you prevent memes from affecting your life? Turn off Facebook and Twitter and go outside and enjoy real life with your friends, or fucking watch TV or anything else rather than hanging about social media. Why the fuck do you care? You go, oh, that's disgusting.
It's just funny because it kind of reminds me of that time where everyone got really mad at Chick-fil-A. Remember that time when everyone got really mad at Chick-fil-A?
The CEO of
Chick-fil-A's founders was very like Christian and anti-homosexual and all that stuff. And then like 2 weeks later, everybody's going back to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, you know what? I don't agree with their stance on Prop 8. They support, I can't remember which one was for or against, but they're essentially supporting measures in California that said marriage is between a man and a woman. I don't fucking care who you get married to, but you know what? They have every right to donate that money, and people have every right to say, I'm not going to buy from Chick-fil-A if you're doing this. But fucking just take a goddamn break. You know what Chick-fil-A does? They make good fucking sandwiches.
They make okay sandwiches.
They make great sandwiches.
They make all right sandwiches.
Make chicken sandwiches great again.
They make tolerable chicken flavored sandwiches.
And at the end of the day, for me personally, that's all I care about. What is your end goddamn product? And to everyone who comes up and says, well, fucking Hitler was building cars, would you buy a Hitler mobile? No, because you know what? Hitler fucking killed 6 million people. Palmer Luckey, Hillary Clinton, George Soros, and the people who own Chick-fil-A aren't fucking Hitler. Stop!
Don't people still buy Volkswagens?
People still drink Fanta.
Okay, yeah. I guess vote with your money, kids.
Just
that's really the only vote you have.
Stop
America.
being out. My advice is stop being fucking outraged about every single thing that's out there and just kind of go, yeah, that's shitty. And
it's
move
all we
on
have to
with
do.
Your life.
That's the problem. Things are really boring, so all we have is being angry at dumb stuff.
Yeah, clearly. Next topic before I even get more
things I'm not
angry
about. Things that are also hilarious. The Philadelphia 76ers are getting in on that esports.
Absolutely. This is via
occasion. Our source is ESPN.com.
Absolutely. This is via ESPN.com, like you were saying, possibly the first time I ever did this. The 76ers acquire esports teams Dignitas and Apex. The article goes on to say that the Philadelphia 76ers will become the first North American professional sports team to own an esports team. The team will announce on Monday that it has acquired long-term franchises Dignitas and upstart Apex, which offers a guaranteed spot in the highly coveted League of Legends Championship Series and will operate under the Dignitas name. Teams were not disclosed, terms rather were not disclosed, but more established esports teams brands have been offered in the marketplace valuations between 5 and 15 million. That's essentially the article saying we don't know what they fake and paid for it, but this is our best guess. Perhaps now the 76ers win something. They had one of the shittiest records ever last season. But we'll see. David, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's cool. We've talked about this a few times, mostly because of all the soccer teams that were buying pro League of Legends teams a while back. And it's just kind of cool to see that esports is rising up enough that traditional sports are starting to recognize them and actually getting more support for their player base. I mean, there's been various issues that have popped up over the last 2 years regarding professional electronic sports. I don't know why I said electronic, whatever. And the idea of professional sports teams getting more involved in it is hopefully going to put more, I mean, I don't necessarily want to say more regulation, but it's something that's kind of needed at this point, just because it's such a new prospect for a lot of these kids that are playing these games. They don't really know what they should be doing as far as negotiating contracts and all this other stuff. And I think more professional, long-standing sports teams getting involved will help regulate things in a sense that they're not going to get screwed over all the time.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. It's cool to see, even as laughable as the 76ers are right now, teams like this essentially throwing their support behind esports. It is a growing market,
and
significantly.
Dignitas isn't a small name by any stretch of the imagination. They play League of Legends, CS:GO, Overwatch.
I think they got a StarCraft 2 team.
Yeah, they play a lot of games, so.
Yeah, it's exciting to see this get more and more legitimate, and it just makes me tickled pink to no end to see ESPN.com having to report on this, because there were so many people there at ESPN who were saying, I will fucking quit my job if we ever start covering esports games. Well, guess what, bucko? Fucking turn in that resignation, because that's what you're going to be in about 5 years.
Guy at ESPN that was all mad at esports. I'm not going to watch ESPN until the day you retire from your organization.
You don't watch ESPN to begin with. Now, to be fair, neither do I, but still.
I don't even have cable.
I still find it funny how the tides have turned on this so fucking hard. So
I love it.
Go Dignitas and go Apex. You're leading the way, as it were. Speaking of esports and all that good stuff,
leading the way,
one of the bigger providers of esports out there is Blizzard with StarCraft 2, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch now. I don't know if that really has a big competitive scene yet, though it might. They are undergoing a pretty massive, but not massive at all change, and that is that they are ending Battle.net.
It's really big to everybody but them.
Yeah,
because while that sounds very dramatic, Blizzard is ending Battle.net. This is the end of Battle.net as we know it. They're literally just dropping the name.
Yeah, it's just a rebranding change that should have happened for a while now. According to
they've been using Battle.net since the 90s?
Yeah, at least all the way since StarCraft 1, I can tell you that.
So,
back when I had to use dial-up to contact a friend of mine, and we would play games of StarCraft online against each other.
I'm willing to bet that Battle.net will still redirect to the Blizzard webpage, though, so I think everyone's going to be fine.
I'm sure it will be. But this is from the blog post that I have up here. We're going to be transitioning away from using the Battle.net name for our gaming service and the functionality connected to it. Battle.net technology will continue to serve as the central nervous system for Blizzard games. Nothing is changing in that regard. We'll just be referring to our various products and services using the Blizzard name instead. You've already seen this recently with things like Blizzard Streaming and Blizzard Voice, and more changes are on the way. Long story short, this is just a rebranding that should have happened years ago. Battle.net was cute back when everything had to have .net or .com in there, but those days are long past us. And I'm kind of surprised it took them this long to rebrand everything under the Blizzard name, because Battle.net doesn't, I mean, it's synonymous with Blizzard, but it doesn't have that name in there at all.
That's true. Anyone who's just getting into this, like, I mean, Hearthstone picked up a lot of more casual players, and they probably don't have any idea what the hell Battle.net's supposed to mean.
Yeah, it's antiquated.
Or what a Battle.net ID is supposed to be. Where, I mean, it's Blizzard. Blizzard makes all these games. It should just be Blizzard stuff. I get
Absolutely.
it. I'm not mad about it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, like I said,
because they can enroll everything in the Blizzard name. So Blizzard this, Blizzard that, Blizzard your face. all that good stuff.
Next topic. David, you're kind of excited for this one, so I'm going to let you take it.
So I'm actually very excited for this. Now, this isn't really a dramatic story. This is actually just a trailer for DLC for one of my favorite games, and that's going to be Rocket League. They released their Aquadome trailer. This is for the new version, or it's not even a new version. It's just an update with a new map, new cars, all that other fun stuff they like to do. The reason I wanted to bring this trailer up, though, is because of the fact that the Rocket League guys always manage to be really topical, and the fact that this trailer hit right at the same time that the BioShock Remastered Collection comes out. And it's just remarkably BioShock themed. The entire course looks to be underwater. The text looks very BioShock influenced, and I'm excited for it. It comes with, the map is free to anyone who plays Rocket League, and the cards obviously are the actual DLC that you can pay for. They usually come with new rocket boosts or wheels or whatever else. But it's kind of like when they did their Wasteland update, which launched right at the same time Mad Max came out. And it had their Mad Max looking cars, and it was this big apocalyptic looking desert level. So I'm excited. Anything Rocket League related, I'm going to talk about.
And it absolutely apes off BioShock, all the way down to the Art Deco style font and logos on their screen. So you can definitely tell that's what they're going for. Cool. I know you have a special affinity for Rocket League, like you were saying there. Still one of the greatest success stories when it comes to video gaming of the past couple years is how well that game took off.
Oh yeah, considering its predecessor wasn't that big of a game, it was just a small PS3 downloadable title, and this game is huge. It's everywhere, and it's fantastic. Also, for anyone that's interested in Pro Rocket League, the RLCS season just started up in this last weekend. There was qualifiers for North America and Europe, so take a look.
Yes, definitely take a look at that. Now we're going to go from something that was extremely successful and well received to something that wasn't so much, and that's right, I'm going to be hammering No Man's Sky again. Because
it's your favorite thing to be mad at.
It's my new ball of yarn. Now, this story comes via techspot.com. No Man's Sky recording fewer than 1,000 concurrent players on Steam. Going on for the article here. For all that No Man's Sky is a technical marvel, it's been a bit of a disaster on every other front. It seems that 18 quintillion planets doesn't automatically make a game fun. Recent stats show that less than 1,000 concurrent people are now playing it on Steam. Now, keep in mind, this is me talking, keep in mind this was a game that had a massive first day sales spike. Like, a lot of people picked it up. So for it to drop down to less than 1,000 players a day,
they had a quarter of a million people playing at one point a day.
Yeah, it's dropped significantly. In fact, if I go farther down on this right here, you can see this chart here where you have that massive first day spike, over 200,000 people, and now, not even a month into it, less than 1,000. Drops like that are almost unheard of. Even Battleborn did not drop that precipitously that quickly. Going on from the article, Murray promised that future DLC would add more to the game. It would basically give players more to do. There was also talk of base building and being able to own much larger ships. However, the usually active Murray has been quiet on Twitter since August 18th when he tweeted about the team's focus on customer support. That is another big problem with No Man's Sky on the consumer support side, is the fact that they have just gone dead silent on anything. They have never addressed any of the concerns about the game. They have never really addressed any of the missing features.
It's kind of a bummer because the main thing that I was using to defend No Man's Sky, which I did for a real long time, because I still found the game to be enjoyable. I didn't expect some grandiose space opera game. I was expecting some casual exploration survival game, which is more or less what it is. But I would kind of defend, like, okay, they're being really, really reactive to this, and they're getting on top of it, and they've had all these patches, and they're talking about this, and then they just go dark.
Yeah, after that first week when they said they were addressing all these tech
issues.
It's
really, really hard to stay optimistic about the game when they walk away, more or less, is all you can see. I mean, I'm sure they're working on it behind the scenes, which is what the only information you'll get if you look at Sean Murray's Twitter. But there's just no new news. We don't know what DLC is planned. I don't think anyone would actually bother to pay for DLC for this game. I mean, if it just shows up in your in your inventory all of a sudden and it's fantastic and it makes the game better and it has multiplayer first-person shooter combat or whatever they want to add to make it actually fun, who knows?
At this point, it's a dead game. Let's face it. You have less than 1,000 people playing it on concurrent days. Let me bring that webpage back up one more time because there was another stat on there I want to check. Here you go. No Man's Sky from the Steam page itself. 939 people playing 43 minutes ago. 2,000 on a 24-hour peak. So even at the highest point of a day, it was capping out only at 2,000 people at this point. That is 1% of the all-time peak of 212,000 people playing this game. This game is dead.
For the record, more people are currently playing American Truck Simulator, The Forest, Star Trek Online, Prison Architect has more players. Like,
it's bad.
Everything has more players.
Do you know what killed that player base? A lot of it came from the fact that the game was definitely overpromised and underdelivered. It overpromised and underdelivered. But
and it was expensive.
What also killed that player base is the lack of communication. You guys at Hello Games went completely dark. People are asking, where are these features at? And you didn't say shit. You came out and said, oh, we have plans. And for a month, we have not heard from you. This is unacceptable. And this game will all go down in history as how not to market a game. This will be a tale that developers tell their young child developers, be good to your customers.
This is going to be the kind of thing that shows up in like business management classes and marketing classes and things of that nature. I mean,
this game will not be remembered for the game. This game will be remembered for everything around the game itself, which is a really bad situation to be in. This is also kind of what I think is going to happen to The Last Guardian, but we'll see when that comes out, December now.
Womp womp.
This is going to be a cautionary tale to young indie developers out there about overselling your shit and not communicating with your customers. I think that No Man's Sky could have been saved if fucking Sean Murray would have came out within a week after it came out and said, hey, listen, we fucked up. This is what we promised. This is what we're doing to get you what we promised. And this is what we are just not going to be able to do. Because that kind of openness does go a long way. You still would have had a lot of pissed off people, but you would have had at least a good chunk of people playing your goddamn game still, or at least showing interest in it. Now, it's just fucking dead.
Yeah, no one cares. It's rough.
And there's one thing to learn from all of this from the consumer side. Don't pre-order. If you dropped $60 on this game because of the hype machine and you realized it was not what you were sold within the first couple hours of buying it, this is what happens when you listen to people whose job it is to sell you the game rather than other people playing it. Take 24 hours after the game comes out and reevaluate your purchase before you drop the money on it. That's all I ask. And if we do that, shit like this stops happening. Someone will buy it. You will always have those people who go, you know what? We will always have people like you in this particular case, where you go in knowing exactly what it is without the hype, and you like what it is, and you can accurately report on that.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think my review would have sold it to anybody.
No, but it is important for us not to believe every bit of marketing that comes out from these guys' mouths, because it is getting more and more facetious as we go on. And I want to say we're wising up to it, but I don't think we are.
Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. Call of Duty comes out every year.
I enjoy Call of Duty every year, that said, though. For the most part. I enjoy this. Let me phrase that. I enjoy the single players to Call of Duty within varying degrees. I've never hated one. There have been some I've been very lukewarm on. There have been some I've been very excited for. Anyways.
Well, support your game. I think that's the other big thing. Don't pre-order, and then if you're a developer, support your game. If you want your game to be a thing, then you should continue to work to make your game that thing. If you don't like the way it launches, you can always make updates. You can always do all kinds of things to improve your player base. You can be very active. You can be very vocal. You know, there was a little game that came out a while ago that had had a developer like that.
What game was that, David?
Really popular guy, made a little tiny game, built in a really crappy engine that got just ridiculously popular. Biggest damn game in the fucking world. Stupid game called Minecraft.
Minecraft, indeed. It is a...
I shouldn't say stupid. I love Minecraft. My bad.
Minecraft still charts on the NPD numbers every goddamn month. And how long has that game been out?
Forever. And there's also people that are actively, probably currently playing Minecraft, any server filled with people, and the game they're playing looks nothing like the Minecraft that me or you have ever played.
Absolutely, because you can do so much shit with it. It's amazing what Minecraft has done, and they've been expanding very heavily.
Amazing what you've been able to do with Java. Let's be real.
Yeah, straight up. And Minecraft and Mojang have been expanding recently into other forms of media, and books are no longer one of those
off limits.
Yeah, no longer off limits. As I lose my train of thought, this comes from Mojang's site or Mojang's site. I'm not really too sure how to pronounce that name, but essentially, essentially, Max Brooks is writing a Minecraft novel. Now, if you don't know who's
Max Brooks,
he's the guy that wrote World War Z.
Shit.
Not the movie, but the book itself, which is actually a very interesting take on a zombie aftermath because it's written seriously. But going on from the article here itself, Max Brooks, the author of amazing future history zombie yarn World War Z, is writing a Minecraft novel titled Minecraft: The Island. The article goes on to say, think cuboid Robinson Crusoe, but matter, a hero stranded in an unfamiliar land with unfamiliar rules, learning to survive against tremendous odds. It sounds like Minecraft's survivor mode.
Let's also keep in mind that while he is the author of World War Z, he's also the same guy that wrote the Zombie Survival Guide, which is hilarious. And yes, Max Brooks is Mel Brooks' son.
Yeah, you know what would be nice is if this Minecraft: The Island book is actually written in the same style as the Ultimate Zombie Survival Guide. To where it's okay, make sure you have
it's kind of tongue in cheek, but it's also written as a how to avoid creepers, how to make sure you get your diamond sword, and all that other nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. Here is a how-to if you were literally dropped into the Minecraft world. Because let me tell you something, the Minecraft world's a scary motherfucking place.
Hell yeah!
It might look cutesy and adorable, but there's shit that wants to murder you 24/7 floating around.
I'm also pretty sure that I couldn't, if I was dropped in some crazy place, just dig a hole in the ground and then put mud on top of myself to cover myself up to make it through the night. Don't know if I have that fortitude.
No, I know I don't.
That's a little ridiculous. Anyway, get your Minecraft novel.
Get your Minecraft on. Next topic.
Read it. Coming to Amazon.
What are you babbling about?
Just selling a book, man. Selling a book.
Next topic. This is a little bit outside our wheelhouse for what we normally talk about, but it does talk about board games as well, which is something we both enjoy, and that is...
It's not outside my wheelhouse.
That is League of Legends has an official board game coming out called Mechs versus Minions.
Man, you should say Riot Games has a official League of Legends based board game coming out.
That is exactly how I should have said that, because League of Legends is a company.
Is not a company. Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Riot Games has a board game coming out based on their hit property League of Legends called Mechs vs. Minions.
You're such an ass.
I know I am.
Mechs vs. Minions is a fully cooperative tabletop game for 2 to 4 players.
Using programmatic movement from a shared draft, Mechs vs. Minions is being sold exclusively through the Riot Games merch store beginning October 13th for $75 plus shipping.
$75. It is a board game with a trailer.
Yeah, I have that trailer running right now. It looks impressive. I like that you have to think about how you want your mechs move and then pre-program it before sending them out there. I don't know if you can make stuff changes on the fly, but it's a cool premise. I don't know if it's worth $75. I'm not a fan of the source material, and I get a lot of other board games that I'd drop $75 on, but hey, it looks cool.
Depends on the quality of those figures and the quality of those cards. I mean, it doesn't look overly complicated. It does have a kind of what do you want to call that? Customizable map, or like different maps you can play on because it's tile based. The figures look fairly detailed, and it comes with a little Zonya's minute glass instead of an hourglass.
There's a bunch of stuff thrown in there with it too. It has like a 10 mission campaign, I believe. There is, if you look at the components box, a prize chest with gift prizes inside, which makes me think it's probably skins for League of Legends, if I had to venture a guess. Zugwar in chat is saying, to be fair, $75 is about the price for minigames. I absolutely agree. It's just, for that money, I would rather buy a whole bunch of other different types of board games. Though, I do kind of want to play this.
I would honestly wait to see how it does, because, I mean, we can be talking about it now and be like, oh, that seems a little expensive, and then it's going to come out, and next year it's going to be the game that everyone has to have. I mean, what if it's just got some crazy, clever play system, combat system, really strategic? Who knows?
Yeah, I want to play it.
It's entirely possible.
I definitely want to play it as a board game fan. It definitely
Dude, I just want to play every
interest.
board game. There's just not time.
Yeah, same here. It is co-op. That's always a plus to me. I like playing with people against the board as opposed against each other. I don't know how its longevity is going to be, though, because it is a 10-mission story campaign. I don't know if there's going to be any randomness thrown in there, or if it's going to be the same thing over and over again. To me,
you
that
continue to play a legacy game after you open all the packs?
That's what I was about to say. To me, it reminds me of a legacy game. And we'll see how it shakes out.
Well, I mean, there's Dead of Winter is a zombie survival game that has different missions that you can play, and I can continue to play that game even if I play the same mission. It's always a little different, just based on the game and the board and how everything rolls out. So as long as it's got that little bit of like randomness thrown in, where you can face different challenges, even if you're in the same mission, cool. Sounds fun.
Yeah, well, that we'll find out October 13th if you want to shell out the $75. Keep in mind that is being sold exclusively through Riot Games merch store, which probably means online only, or you might be able to find it at a couple conventions if they're selling directly there. I have no idea what stocks are going to be on that, so it could jump through the roof on places like Amazon. We'll see. I think that does it for the news this week, David. So why don't you go ahead and tell us what we can play right now?
Well, let's talk about those fancy, exciting new releases. Now, the first one is a little weird to me because I swear we said it was a new release last week, but I don't know. I don't pay that much attention. It might just because it's about that time where all of the sports games are coming out, so they all blur together a little bit. But FIFA 17 actually hits this week for PC, PS4, PS3, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. Every damn thing ever. This is the soccer game that's not PES, so it's not made by Konami. So if you really hate Konami and want to give your money to EA, there you go. The game I'm probably most excited for this week is also coming out for me. That's Forza Horizon 3 is hitting PC. Forza Horizon 3 is one of the Microsoft Play Anywhere games where you can buy it on PC or Xbox and then play it on both with your save transferring seamlessly. It's all saved in the cloud, so you can be playing on your Xbox, you can walk into the other room, hop on your computer, and then continue playing your same campaign.
Yeah, Forza 3
also gorgeous.
Yes.
Looks fantastic.
This did come out last week on the Xbox One, but like you said, Microsoft's doing that awesome thing, which is also kind of puzzling, that you don't have to have an Xbox One to play any of their shit anymore. It just releases out on PC, which is great for us.
Yes.
Yeah,
although it's less great for me because, unfortunately, since it is a Xbox One and PC game, and you can play it on both, you do have to have Windows 10 to play this game. I found that out, unfortunately, because I'm still running 7 because I refuse to upgrade.
I think you actually have to buy Windows 10 now at this point, too. I don't know if you can get to a free upgrade anymore. I'm not positive on that.
I legit have to buy a copy of Windows 10, but that's not happening until I rebuild my computer. So anyway, let's talk about another game that looks hilarious and has a, I don't know, very familiar art style to me, and that is Burly Men at Sea on PC. This game looks very reminiscent of a game I really enjoyed from a few years ago. It's called Sword and Sorcery, but it's not made by that team. This is made by Brain and Brain. It's a folklore adventure about 3 burly guys who are out on the sea solving mysteries, doing their thing. They're from Scandinavia, and they encounter weird folklore creatures, and yeah.
This was at PAX West now, as it's called. I think we both kind of walked past the booth and went, oh, that looks cute, but we didn't take any time to stop and look at it.
Yeah, I've looked into it a little bit more. It does look interesting. I think there's some people that would really enjoy this game, so maybe take a look at it if you're into those indie-styled adventure games. Might be fun for you. Fantastic game is also being re-released for PS4 and Vita this week, and that is Darkest Dungeon. That game came out on Steam quite a while ago. Very dark and brutal RPG, kind of side-scrolling RPG game.
unbelievable
has
narration to it.
Yeah, the narration is great. It's very dark. It's very... Who the hell's the author I'm trying to think of?
Lovecraft.
Very
It's
Lovecraft.
very Lovecraftian.
Yes, that is the word I'm looking for. But it also has that lovely thing called permadeath, which is why I've never beaten it, because everybody loves how hard it is, and they keep wanting it harder and harder, and the developers are like, yeah, we'll keep making it more difficult. It'll be great. I can't beat that game for the life of me. I can suck at it.
I did finish it. It gets very grindy at the end if you don't know what's coming. It is also one of the few success stories to actually come out of early access on Steam. Most games that go into early access actually never leave it. I want to say I saw a statistic recently that said something like 3/4 of games that go into early access never leave it. This one did, and it's fucking amazing. So buy it. This will actually... Darkest Dungeon is one of those perfect Vita games. To where if you, you know that list of travel games we did a couple weeks ago, this would easily fit on there, because it is a great do a dungeon, put in your pocket, travel somewhere, pop it out, do a dungeon, put it in your pocket, and travel somewhere. I highly recommend it if you have not played it yet.
Cool. Another very good game coming out for PS4 and Xbox One this week is XCOM 2. Again, a game that's been out for a little while on PC. It is the sequel to XCOM. I'm sure you could guess that.
And it is
turn-based tactics game made by Firaxis. XCOM is awesome. Another game with permadeath. The first game had you dealing with the alien invasion. XCOM 2, well, guess what? You lost. The aliens are here. They're hanging out. You're the resistance. Good fucking luck.
It's an amazing premise. I like the first one better, but the second one is still worth picking up.
This combat strategy is still just as solid.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they fixed all the issues the PC version had. Now, I didn't have any of those issues, fortunately, but there were multiple reports of frame rate pickups, deleted saves, just messy coding in general. I know I'm not using coding appropriately there, but it was just kind of a messy game. I'm hoping a lot of that got fixed for the consoles, because it would suck to see those still exist a year after the fact.
Sorry. Also coming out for PC this week is Masquerada Songs and Shadows. This is yet another game that I saw at PAX over in the indie booth. It's a kind of Baldur's Gate style RPG. It's very isometric, 2D. The big draw I think they have is this game is fully voice acted. It's got an interesting style because it's kind of cartoony. It reminds me a little bit of Espionage. What's that? Espionage Inc.
Invisible Inc.
Invisible Inc. Thank you. Espionage works enough.
I personally think
the art style kind of reminds me of that, but yeah,
I
fully
personally
voice
think the art style reminds me of the Banner Saga a lot. It has that same bright animated. It looks hand drawn. I don't know if it actually is or not, but it looks hand drawn. It's set in like a Venetian clockwork setting. You control 3 people, and it uses borderline MOBA rules to where each one of these 3 people kind of have 4 skills on various cooldowns.
Yeah.
Like Baldur's Gate, you can pause the action, plan out your attack, and then unpause it. So you can kind of play it turn-based or real-time, depending on how you go. I'm excited to play it. I've been looking at this game for about a year now. So it's good to see it finally coming.
Yeah, a game that I don't think anyone was looking forward to, also releasing this week, is Sonic Boom Fire and Ice on 3DS. Yet another Sonic release that is not a major Sonic game, but the nice thing about this one is at least it wasn't demeaning to its audience.
Is that a dig at Mighty Number 9?
Yes, that was.
So, I'm going to drop some truth on you guys, especially if you're an older gamer who's been playing since the early 80s. Sonic was never good. Even Sonic 2, which was considered the greatest of that franchise, was mediocre at best. It was always trounced by the far superior Mario. The only thing good to ever come out of Sonic the Hedgehog is that fucking Twitter account that's run by possibly the greatest PR agent of all time.
Also Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast, you fucking heathen.
Incorrect. I know you want to be blind to the fact that that game was bad because you spent money on it, and that's hard-earned money as a child, and you don't want to feel like you made a bad investment. But Sonic Adventure 2 is horrible. It's terrible.
Did I say Sonic Adventure 2?
And 1.
Man, you're just a dick.
Bad.
Anyway,
bad.
Sonic CD had a good intro.
Yeah, well, Sonic was voiced by Urkel.
Cool. I like Urkel.
Just throw it
He's got
up
suspenders.
too.
Stylish. Anyway, some amount of people are going to play it. The kids have never played a Sonic game before. I guess you can start with this one. I would probably just go to old Sonic Remastered Collection instead, but that's me. Who knows? I'm slightly old school. Also coming out, we have Hitman Episode 5 Colorado, because Hitman loves to travel for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. That is the next in the very episodic Hitman series that's going on right now. Enjoy that.
I really didn't care too much about this episodic Hitman thing, but the more I see of these episodes, the more I'm interested in it. I think I'll wait till the entire game is fully released and just buy it all at once.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. In like 2 years, when they're all done and then they're on sale, that's when I'll be thinking, I need to get that Hitman game from a while back.
Yeah, I keep hearing all these good things about it, but I'm not going to buy it piecemeal like how Squeenix is churning this one out.
Cool. And the last thing releasing this week is actually not a big game, not a AAA game, but it is a game that I've already played, which is nice for you because then I get to talk about it. And that is ClusterTruck on PC.
Which brings us to our topic of the week. David reviews ClusterTruck. Now,
guess what? I played it. You didn't. I'm going to talk about it.
Full disclosure. This code was given to us by Tiny Build in advance a week ago. I handed it off to David. David, how many hours have you sunk into ClusterTruck?
I don't know.
I'm out. The Steam account right now.
I don't know. 3 or 4. Not a ton.
Not a ton.
Not a ton. I put a decent amount of time in it.
All right. So tell us what ClusterTruck is.
It is the Floor is Lava, the video game.
Okay.
That is the quickest way to describe it. So it's a pretty simple game. ClusterTruck is about a large group of semis that for some reason are all driving in various locations. You are some asshole that can jump really far and are super good at balancing on semi-trucks. Your entire goal is to maintain your ability to stay on trucks that are moving quickly and not land in the ground.
It looks a little bit like a first-person runner. Not an endless runner, but like a platform runner.
Not an endless runner because it does have goals, but there's several levels, and there's also several worlds in where all those levels are. You also get, I think the big thing for this game is there's a lot of replayability because you can unlock abilities. The more you play and the more you get points because you can do different things. You can duck under stuff, you can dodge things, you can get bonus points for time, all this other fun stuff. You get these cool abilities. There's a double jump, there's a jetpack, there's an air dash, there's a grappling hook, there's just all kinds of crap you can get to make it so that you can then run faster. And it's very much a high scores based game. So I played it enough that I was able to complete the, I think most of the worlds. I mean, I played through the forest, the desert, the tundra, the laser place.
Literally all of your typical video game settings.
Yeah, there's lots of different places that you go to, and it's cool because you're presented with like unique challenges. You can also get points to unlock abilities. I kind of declined from buying any abilities because I wanted to see how far I could make it to see if the abilities were required. They're absolutely not, although I did spend way too long on a really early level, and it kind of killed my fun a little bit. But it's all just because I was terrible at it, because I didn't realize that I could just stand on this one truck, because you're going along and then everything explodes except for the one truck. And that's where I should have been the whole time. And I was too dumb to notice it. I was too busy trying to go fast. But it does really give you that gotta go fast mentality. It honestly made me think of playing the Sonic games back in the day, or I guess what I thought I was doing back in the day, because, you know, the Genesis made it look fast. This game also looks fast.
Processing.
Yeah, and it also has a really good soundtrack. I really enjoy it. Each world kind of has a different vibe in general, so the music changes kind of dramatically, but then within each level it's got kind of the same theme going. So the big question really, though, is if I'd recommend for you to buy it, skip it, or wait for a sale. The major takeaway I have, though, is the game's $11, which is not bad at all. So I'm going to have to say that if you are a fan of runner games, platforming games, time attack games, or games with online leaderboards, definitely pick it up. If you don't like any of those things, you will probably get bored in 20 minutes.
All right. So it sounds like you're saying buy it with those caveats. Yeah.
If you're into, like I said, platforming games, time attack games, runner games, I would definitely look at it. It's really, really fun for me. I actually didn't know that you just got the key from them. I thought you bought it and sent it to me. I didn't even know it didn't come out until this week, because I don't pay that much attention.
Oh, really? I thought I made that clear.
No, I had no idea. I was just playing it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, no, that was sent directly from Tiny Build itself to me, and I was like, I don't have time to review this. Why don't you take it?
Thanks, guys. If you have additional updates, you should make it so you can also jump on cars instead of trucks. The trucks are kind of easy to land on once you get used to it.
Doesn't that literally defeat the purpose of the name, though? Like, the entire joke is ClusterTruck.
That's true. And there's a letter clearly blocked out by a TR there. Very clever, you guys. Very clever. It's also very physics-based, which was fun for me because I kept dying on the same level and over, but then the trucks wouldn't take the same path because the way things interact, different explosions will happen, different things will knock other things down. And like I said, you can go faster and faster. So if you're just jumping as quick as possible, maybe you're just skating and barely making it off of things. If a truck starts somersaulting through the air, you can actually kind of run up that truck and jump off it, get even further. But you also have to worry about your momentum because if you come to a standstill, you can't jump for shit. So pay attention to that. But like I said, the big thing is just gaining as many abilities as possible and then going back and replaying levels. So if you're not the kind of guy that's into doing that, maybe don't look at it.
So I want to ask a question to clarify something. Is every level identical or is it randomized? For example, do explosions change up or the physics engine cause things to fall in different directions with each explosion?
Yes, the physics engines will make every level different. So World 1, Level 1 is always going to start exactly the same. It looks the same, the goal's in the same place, the terrain looks the same, but the way the trucks interact is they're all trying to the trucks are trying to get to the goal as just as much as you are, and they'll all kind of drive and scrape into each other and bump into each other to get there. So sometimes this guy knocks that guy off the road, sometimes these two guys swerve this way, and it just makes this, clusterfuck of trucks that you then have to jump, avoid, and dodge through in order to get yourself to the finish line.
I asked that because it sounds like it's less focused on memorizing the pattern in that case and more skill-focused in your ability to adapt what's going on the screen, which is kind of a big differentiator.
I had to get used to actually panning my camera down. I played the game with a controller because I'm this weird kind of guy that likes controllers. It's honestly probably much easier mouse and keyboard. I think about it just because using the mouse to look around with your camera is way easier than jumping with A and then panning a camera with the right thumbstick. But I had to get to that point where I was looking around to see where I was landing because there's parts where you're on a bridge and you're jumping off that bridge to jump onto a whole new set of trucks that are on a different bridge going in the opposite direction. So when you get there, you can get lost in the air pretty easily. And the trucks aren't always going to be below you because once again, if they ram into each other and they break off, sometimes you'll find that sweet spot and just land right in the middle.
All right. The game is ClusterTruck. The publisher is Tiny Build. David says buy it. It is currently only, what is it, 12 bucks? $11 on Steam. Comes out this week.
That is one of the major reasons why I'm saying, just because it's a $12 game. If this was like a $40 game, hell no.
Yeah, well, price, your time has value, and price definitely should be a factor in a review, I think. I would say this game is a $14.99 game that's releasing at $12. All right. Just to make perfectly clear, this was a code sent to us by Tiny Build themselves, but it sounds like we enjoy it and that you should go out and buy it if you like. What were the caveats again?
I don't know. What did I say? Platforming, speed, time trial games, games with online leaderboards, games with power-ups, games with sweet soundtracks, simple-looking physics-based games, games with trucks. If you like trucks, if you like the desert, snow.
Who doesn't like trucks in the desert?
Lasers.
Thank you for that review, David.
Yeah, it was terrible. Maybe next time you can play your own damn codes.
I give you shit to do, and you're just ungrateful.
Yeah, that's what I do. What's up?
All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps things up today. This has been GamePoints episode 63. If you are watching us live, thank you for doing so. Thank you for joining the chat. We do try to interact with you whenever we can. We are live here at Twitch TV/GamePoints every Monday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Unless something stupid happens or we're delayed for some reason. And if you want to find out if we are delayed for some reason, you can definitely go to our Facebook page, just type in GamePoints Podcast, we pop right up, or you can follow the show at GamePoints PC. If you want to check out our older shows, you can always go to our YouTube page. That's GamePoints, one word. We pop right up there, and you can watch any show that did not have major technical glitches, which are a lot of them, unfortunately, because I suck at this.
most of the ones because you don't know how to upload or you don't know how to
not a damn
record.
thing.
Or
I always fuck something up. And you can give us a subscribe and like and all that good stuff there. If you want to follow us individually, I am Stephen Brown. You can follow me at CapitalistPig21. Over there is David Smith. You can follow him at _Satori. And you can follow the show itself at GamePoints PC. But beyond that, thank you for watching. This has been GamePoints, and we are out of here.